Good afternoon. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Get Real with Rick Dancer. And I'll wait for this to ping to know that it's sending things out. I'm just thinking a lot about Oregon. I ended up on an accidental conversation with a woman just now who's heading over to Idaho. We were talking about Oregon and the place we live and love and all the things that are going on here right now. And I can't stop thinking about, you know, the state and the state of the state and what we're living through right now. And hey, Steve, how you doing? And so yeah, I found something online. It's interesting. I was talking to a historian the other day, and we were talking about Oregon history and things like that, and what it took to settle here in Oregon. And I know being a pioneer is not a popular thing with some movements today, but my family were pioneer families here. Came from the Midwest back in the mid 1800s and settled in Baker County, Oregon. And I was reading this. She was telling me this comment, and I should just put it in here, except I'm afraid people are gonna, hey, Karen, there's my Karen, kind of hit it. But the saying went like this. It was people talking about coming across the plains here to Oregon to find Oregon, and you think about what that must have taken, and how difficult that was to get here. And the saying goes, "The cowards never started. The weak died along the way." And and that leaves us. That's what was left. So the cowards never started. I'm sure back in the day, Oregon was this was like a place in the Wild West, and people were scared and wondering what they're going to do and where they're going to go. And you think, okay, so these people wanted a new life. They wanted a new way to do things. They wanted to go find their dreams. And so they came to Oregon. I think people still come to Oregon for that same reason, because we're looking for dreams. We're looking to start a life, to do the things that we want to do, and to create something better than what we had for our families and people like that. I don't feel like that's Oregon anymore. It feels like we're losing some of the guts, and this is just my opinion. Some of you are going to completely and utterly disagree with me, and that is 100% you're right, and that is 100% fine with me. But it doesn't mean, I think that's what bothers me sometimes about what I see happening in our state right now. It's like, why can't we disagree? Why can't we see things differently? And why do we have to label people who do so? I don't think we do. I don't think we should. I think, if you go back and, you have to be in context. You have to go back. So what's that? City manager of Independence states another shutdown in October. My personal thought on that is, if they try to shut down the economy again, I think they're going to have a real problem with people going along with it. I think most businesses that I've talked with will say, we can't do it again. I don't think people will make it. I don't think it'll happen. And I'm not being negative. I'm not suggesting. I'm just saying that I don't think people can do it again, financially. And I think you do have to balance the financial economy. I know there's people that don't agree with that either, but I think this is an economic problem, and it's also a medical thing. But when you balance, if we do this again, I just think it's going to be devastation. And I want to think that our governor and government knows that. I think they do. That's why I think they're putting the mask thing so heavily. Probably, honestly, looking back, we probably should have done the mask thing first before shutting down the economy. Should have just come in and said, let's try doing the mask thing and see what we can do with it. Just my opinion, and see if that would have stopped anything. People are too used to an illusion that safety is reality and a right. We've made ourselves so comfortable that any and most people cannot stand mild discomfort, including taking risks. Rob, I 100% agree with you. I think we've grown into a place where we wouldn't even understand what it feels like to take a chance or to risk everything. I still see people innovating and dreaming. I do too, Eric, and I love that. Yes, this is hard time, but just like the Oregon Trail, the strong will survive and thrive. Yeah, I agree. But I think you're also going to see, it's like do it once and we've already seen what happens. To do it again, I don't know. I don't think that's going to be the strong are going to survive. I think it's going to be tough for anybody to survive that, personally. Again, and I think if they do announce that kind of thing, and I think they know that, that the backlash is going to be huge, and there's going to be a ton of people who are and what I know just from my friends and people I know who are 100% backing the governor on was up till now, and masks, that what's going on, but they've told me, and I asked people, we can't do it again, and they're not gonna do it again. And I think that's going to be a problem. So I choose to have more hope than that, and I'm watching stuff on not the news but other places, and saying that they are coming up with some stuff. Maybe we're going to find some ideas. Maybe it'll slow down. Who knows? I got to stay positive. I can't sit here and look at the world that's going to fall apart and doom and gloom, because I think that's becomes kind of the narrative out there. Somebody asked me today, what part of the narrative would you change? And I said, I am not a doom and gloomer. I don't think it's the end. I think we can, like the pioneers, I think we can be courageous, and shut down, we won't survive. I'm compromised immunity, and I've been staying isolated. It's hard. I just want to stay safe for myself and others. Yep, I agree, Jane. I'm waiting for the silent majority to speak up. I don't know if there is a silent majority. I think there's just a very bunch of people who are very confused and angry, and that's the hardest thing. I don't know that there is a real majority on any of this. I'm now going to post only about things that start with F: friends, food, family, flower, and maybe the big F word. They should not shut down the economy without a plan and financial help. The first shutdown was really half-assed. Eric, 100% agree with you. What I never understood about the first shutdown was Governor Brown didn't have anybody in the business community on this task force. At least every time I'd hear her talk about the shutdown, it was only scientists, doctors, medical staff. So you're not including any of this other group of people like businesses. And people go, oh, that's selfish. It's your business. It's your fucking life. It's how you make a living. And yes, that is life. And to not have anybody involved in that and the decision making or on the task force, from the business community, that's half-assed. And I don't think that can't happen again. And I hope everybody understands, this is why you cannot have one legislature that's all dominant. You can't have a supermajority in a state. It is unhealthy. And you cannot allow that to happen. Oh, heck, what did I do here? I lost something. There we go. I'm sorry. I pushed the wrong button. Today is a good day to have a good day. I think so, too. You know what? I'm going to celebrate. We just said again, something that people rarely pass on the virus. I just saw it online. I'm going to celebrate freedom and the place I live. Even though I don't feel very free right now, I still think that's what our country was founded on, and I think that it will come back. I think people will start to tire of this, and I think the messaging and everything will lose some of its traction. Do we care about people? You bet we do. We care about all people. That's everybody. We care. When you care, it's an action word. You have to do something. You can't just say, oh, I'm supportive of this, I'm supportive of that, which is why now that this mask thing is about keeping businesses open, I'm fine with that. When it was about the medical thing, I'm sorry. I've seen too much evidence that I don't believe it, but that's okay. If you do, I have no problem with that. But don't tell me I have to. So now I have a reason to go, you know what, I can do this because I'm keeping businesses open and I want to do my part to make sure that that economy comes back. And if it protects people at the same time, I don't really believe that. But if it does, good. And I'm wrong. I hope I am. That's great. Maybe it'll change things. David, yeah, now that's an old article, and I don't know if that's still back or what. But I saw that a long time ago. Justice for all matters. Yeah, it does, but not in our current situation anymore. So anyway, I think it's, I know there's a lot of little celebrations. I hope people are really careful and, keep your distance if you're at a celebration with people. A lot of folks for 4th of July, just be mindful of that. You don't have to do it out of anger. You can do it out of, I think you just find reasons. And then we fight to get our freedom back. And it's not freedom that people are trying to make freedom into a bad word, into something that's selfish. And that's just horseshit. Freedom is what this country was founded on, so that people of all religions, of all sexual orientations, of all races can come in and make our own decisions about how we live our lives, not have the government tell us how to live our lives. That was what people came here for. And I think that's why people came to Oregon, is because they were tired of the bullshit on the East Coast, and they were coming here to make a life for themselves. And now we're in a state that I think is becoming overrun and being run by one person. And that concerns me. I have nothing against Kate Brown. I ran against her. We were friends when we ran. It was fine. I don't agree with all of her decisions. I wouldn't want to be her right now. But I think, like someone had brought up here earlier, we need to look at everything in the picture: science, data, economy, everything, when we're making decisions about what we're going to do here. Because this has been devastating to a lot of people. And I know people say, oh, well, I understand, but you don't understand until it's you. When it's you. Don't tell me you understand what it means to be unemployed if you're not unemployed. Don't tell me you understand what it's like that somebody's being selfish because they want to provide for their family when they can't afford their insurance. And it's not because of big corporate America. That's what people always try to blame it on. Let's just boil it right down to it. We've created a situation where people are having a really tough time. And we need to consider that, at least, when we're doing this, and to remember that what happened, what concerns me quite a bit is what happened to we the people. I mean, this is supposed to be a government of the people, by the people. What this has been beginning to sound like to me is the very reason people left England was because they had a king, and we don't have a king. Donald Trump is not my king. Kate Brown is not my queen or king. However, I don't know the proper way to say that. But those two are leaders that we put into office, but I'm not. They are supposed to consider, and some of this should just be taken to the legislature and let us have a say in it, because it's got to be done. So I am going to be hopeful. I'm going to believe that people are going to, protect businesses, protect people, whatever your reason is, and nobody's reason is better than the other. So get over yourself. If you think you're high and mighty and you're on a pedestal because you've been doing this so well, go ahead and pat your back until you break your arm, because nobody gives a shit. We all care in a different way about different things, but some of us see things differently. And everybody's welcome on here to have their opinion, because you know what? When you offer it, then I learn stuff. I've changed my ideas on a bunch of stuff, and that's because there's people brave enough to come on and talk and have Have conversations. Sore losers cause problems. You need to back your country, whether you voted for them or not. Otherwise, the rest of the world will view us as weak. They're blackmail, holding our economy hostage. There's just a lot of things going on. The virus is sprinting. The wheels of bureaucracy move very slowly. I think we're going to be okay. I think we're just going to be okay. I think things will happen. I think that people will hopefully wear the mask into the businesses where you're supposed to, with areas where you're supposed to be doing this. Maybe just leave it alone. Police yourself. Don't be looking at your neighbors and telling them what they should do. And then let's just keep making sure that we're supporting our small businesses and people and big businesses, any business. And don't make it hard on them. God, when you go in there, don't be bitching. We have people go into our gym and they're complaining because they have to take your temperature. Well, it's really to protect you and other people around you. So don't take it out on them. It's what they have to do to stay in business. So, if you go into a place to have lunch or something and you have to wear a mask in, that's protecting the business. It's protecting you. And just do it and hush up. Don't punish businesses here. I liked what Tara's saying right here. Don't punish businesses by not wearing a mask, and don't be rude to employees. That is one of my biggest concerns about this whole thing. We're pitting people against each other, and I don't like that. I don't think it's great. I think it's a bad thing, and we need it. You're welcome, Garrett. We need to get back to letting people believe what they believe. And I know that's really unpopular right now, because there's a narrative and a conversation soaring like this, and anything that's coming this direction to go, wait a minute, I have a question, you're slapped. And how are we going to figure this out? Because guess what? When it's all over, all of us are going to have a little egg on our face. That's why everything keeps changing daily. Numbers, the way they're doing it, ideas, things that are happening. It's divide and conquer. Exactly, Tracy. It shouldn't be like that. It should be that we're all working towards a goal of getting through this thing. But I believe that mandatory masks are to groom us. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff like that going on, and we don't know. Can we also agree that cyberbullying is not activism? Yeah, Bill, we can. Exactly. When you get on, I had some lady come on my page today. Why don't you just state what you're thinking? We want to know. Well, I know when somebody's trying to trap me. I've done this too long, and I'm not going to go there. I refuse to go there. Yeah, here's the big thing. United we stand, or divided we will fall. And that's where we're headed right now if we don't stop. So just give people a break, celebrate safely, and remember what freedom used to taste like. Because I think we need to get that back. And we have the freedom to behave. And some people are I know they won't take this the right way, but that isn't really my problem. It's if you could, I think if being offended is a choice, and so you have a choice to be offended. But I am more concerned about the visceral attitude of people towards each other than I am about any of the other stuff going on with this. Because I think that the virus is going to go through, as I understand it from what I've read, it's going to 60 to 70% of us are going to get that virus. If we don't control it, you cannot control a virus. So 60 to 70% are going to get that virus. So that's something we cannot control. But we can control how we react to that. We can control how we prepare for that. And we can control how we talk to each other. And right now, we should all be really ashamed of how I'm so sick of seeing comments about, oh, well, then, I'm going to care about my fellow man. Oh, and it's lifting themselves up because they see it differently than other people. And maybe they're not seeing the same facts that other people are seeing. And then the people that are going, I'm not going to do this because it's, well, maybe a little compassion that we've got to do a little bit of both might help. It really is up to us to do this. And so we can fight and piss and march and scream and yell, or we can make concessions. See, there's this word that starts with a C that's really unpopular right now. And that's called compromise. And it's something both camps need to do. And so I feel like I'm compromising when I'm wearing a mask into businesses. And I found a way I could do that because, there's this other thing that is really bothersome to me is I strive to live my life in truth. And yet that's truth as I see it, because that's the only thing I can do. But when I'm forced to do something that to me is a lie, then I think people have to understand how difficult that is for people who don't agree with that to go. And you can say selfishness, you can put all the little words you want on it. But when somebody feels like something's a lie and they're living a lie, and you're forced to live a lie, that doesn't feel real good. So we have to find ways to do that. And this has given me the perfect opportunity to wear the mask for my business friends, and because I just don't see the research that says it does anything for saving people. And if it does on the side and I'm wrong, great. I pray that I'm wrong. But my biggest concern, as I said, is us. And I read the paper a few days ago written by an immunologist, estimated that by the end of 99% of the world's population will have been exposed to COVID-19. See, I'm reading the same stuff, and it's because it has to. It's a virus. It has to. I don't know. What I read was 60 to 70%. I don't agree with everything I'm hearing on either side. I'm just trying to participate as a respectful community member for all sakes. I just want to go through this as fast as possible. We have all lost so much already. Yeah. And unfortunately, Mark, I don't think it's fast. Right. I would like to, so what do you hope for? Peace. I think I'm not picking on you. I'm really not, Mark, but I don't think we're just going to get through this. I mean, I think we have to be active participants and start being more involved in the process of getting through this rather than just listening to edicts. And we need to be actively involved in how this is going to happen, all of us. And that means we all need to be called to the table. It means we all need to be part of the solution. And it doesn't mean that the Republicans or the Democrats or the independents or the non-affiliates or anybody else gets to decide anything. It should be up to all of us. So I want back in that conversation. I want to be part of that conversation. I want to be part of the process of getting through this. And I hope you do too. So, this weekend when you're just dinking around and stuff, remember why we're here, why people came to the United States of America, why we formed this continent, or this system. It's about freedom and liberty and to worship and do the things that we want to do the way we want to do them. And we need to consider that. We need to remember that, because when you lose your freedom, you lose a lot. And freedom is an F word, but it's not a bad word. When I see a culture trying to turn freedom into something that's selfish and all that stuff, I'm appalled. Because those same people do have a lot of freedom because of that word and the place where we live. So remember that. All right. I'm going rafting tomorrow. And I'm going to go up and hang out with just a few people. And the next week we'll be on an adventure in Central Oregon social distancing, but introducing you to some really fun things to do once this is over. Not now, once it's over. All right. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. And remember, happy birthday.